Hello and welcome to Rhythms Revealed. I'm Charlie and I'm here with the fabulous
Andi Foster from Audio Junk Food.
And Joe Barton, the events manager at the Frog Fiddle.
And we're here to talk about the very wonderful Frogfest. And we'll start, Andy, with your bit. And so what you're doing with Frogfest, how you're connected, and also a few little cheeky announcements along the way.
Okay, so this is my third year of Frogfest being floating around, and this year someone decided to run off to a wedding in Australia, which means that all of the carnage I shall be causing. So each day of Frogfest has kind of like a vibe split. Vibe split, that's the best way to call it?
Yeah.
Vibe split. Kind of, so everyone has a rough idea of what they're expecting when they come in each day. I've booked the Friday. It's very, for anyone who's come to an Audio Junk Food show before, without planning on it, we kind of have emo punk as our very broad kind of vibe. So Friday very, very much is an emo punk kind of thing inside, and there's some stunning acoustic stuff happening outside. And there'll be comedy upstairs as well.
Yes, so I'll quickly add the fantastic Joe Taylor Mills, who does a lot of comedy stuff in the Southwest, has absolutely amazingly offered to bill and also host our comedy stage for us for the third year in a row. So big thank you, Joe Taylor Mills.
What do you want? Would you like some spoilers?
Should we get some spoilers for the Friday then?
Okay, so your spoilers for the Friday are: we start at 5 o'clock in the evening. It is an 8-band bill. There is a secret set in there. Ooh. You're not getting that. No one's getting that.
I only just got that.
And I was going to keep it quiet from Joe as well because I thought it'd be funny.
Well, you really struggle to keep quiet.
No, it's just kind of come out of nowhere, and it's something that's just kind of, I think whenever you're doing something, there's some stuff just kind of falls into place, and that was something just kind of.
Am I allowed to give a clue?
No, I don't think you
It
can.
won't be obvious at all unless you have been effectively coming to this venue, I would say, for nearly 10 years.
Okay, go on.
They are, I would say, one of the, since I've been working here at least, Frog legacy band.
Interesting.
And that is all I'm saying.
We'll see if anyone can have some ideas from that.
There'll be guesses.
There'll be a band member from the band that won't even fucking know.
Probably.
Okay, but you want a headliner. We promised you a headliner. So, at 2,000 Trees this year, on opening the Friday, was a band who sang about building bricks. That band was Buds, and Buds are going to be headlining the Friday night of Frogfest this year.
Outstanding stuff. And for those that don't know Buds, what can we expect from them?
The most annoyingly catchy finishing song you can ever possibly imagine. I was singing it for the whole weekend, and now it's just going back into my head again, so we need to get rid of that quickly. Stupid stage presence, stupid level of fun, lots of movement. Rocky, emo punk.
Just want to add as well, thoroughly lovely bunch. So they played here last, I think it was for the Trashed album launch in 2022. And I've been trying to find something that I could put them back into literally since. And I think I've been passing chips with them a couple of times. Sadly, I had to miss them at Trees because their evening set clashed with mine. Brilliant. And then, when you finally tell me it's them headlining, so I'm not even fucking country.
I got swear words as a text message. It was fun. So there is your Friday night headliner. So Friday is very much an emo punk kind of vibe. You'll have punk, you'll have emo, you'll have bits in the middle, some random stuff as well. And outside, we're doing outside as well. Yeah, you want outside? Because we're throwing it at you.
Yeah, might as well.
I'll give you 2 for outside. How about that? So you've had Buds and a secret set for inside. And then outside, the Friday night is being headlined by my dear friend Bean Baker. We will have fun. We will have a stupid party atmosphere. He'll do some covers. He's also writing the best stuff he's ever written now. Just don't call him Ed Sheeran or he'll lose the plot. But also, like, they did it last year and we thought we'd ask them back. So for a couple of years now, a band have done the acoustic stages at 2,000 Trees and caused absolute carnage with...
A slow-mo mosh pit and somebody crowd surfing on a crowd of 12 people. The funniest shit I've ever seen at 1:30 in the morning at a festival.
So we're having Sorry Park back to sing stupid songs, to sing some covers. They'll do some of their own stuff. They're just going to cause absolute mayhem and carnage outside, and I can't wait.
It sounds like the perfect start for Frogfest,
Yeah.
naturally.
And then we land on the day which you've booked, but you're not around for, so off you go.
So it's, Christ, since probably a couple of years before COVID, it's basically been a bit of a staple that the Saturday of Frogfest is normally the heaviest stuff that we get all weekend. So your metalheads and your doom punks is your kind of stage. So to try and give it a little bit of a different twist this year, I've tried to sort of book like a party band, or at least like party vibes, high energy band for the last slot for the Saturday and the Sunday. So for the Saturday night, the headliners at the top of the bill is drum and bass metal group Andromedus, who, if you've not seen them before, absolutely fantastic. Masks, four-piece, a lead vocalist, guitarist, bassist, and instead of having a drummer, they have a DJ doing live drum and bass cuts. So yeah, huge energy, and also, luckily for the staff, quite an easy pack down for you lot when I'm not here afterwards. And then another band for the main support, who I have been trying to find a place to put in here for the last year and a half since I think it was their drummer reached out to me. Quite a few of his mates know the venue locally. I think I've actually must have seen them a couple of times at festivals myself in the last couple of years without realising it was the same guys. But we... In the middle of an interview. Yeah, we're doing an interview. And then, in our main support position, we've got a band who I've been trying to find a place for I think, the last couple of years, and also just seem to be passing chips for anything we've got that's relevant. It always seems to be like a package deal has come in, so we've got no place for the right kind of support slot for them. But massively happy to announce we have got Moon Reaper coming down for the main support slot for the Saturday. And then for the outside, we've actually wound up with the headliner and the main support actually sort of being audio junk food bands for the Saturday. But I think it's more so, obviously, with the emo punk stuff on the Friday, we wanted to try and lean a little bit away from that for the acoustic. So it's basically people aren't sprinting between both rooms halfway through everybody's set. So we've sort of done a flipped vibe where there's quite a few more of the bands that have done audio junk food stuff on the Saturday and the outside. And the headliners, fantastic duo, phenomenal level of songwriting, really good storytelling, and also in the middle of a batch of fantastic releases at the moment, we have Saint Sonara as our headliners. And in main support is a band that normally actually would have been on the main stage for the Saturday, but recently, whilst they're in between drummers, they've done a couple of stripped back sets, one actually for one of Andy's shows a couple of weeks ago, which I've been told was absolutely beautiful. Sadly, I also had to miss that gig. But as our main support, we have a stripped back set from
Wave Arcana.
And then moving on to the Sunday, which is actually still almost a surprise for Andy as well, so this is news for all of you. So keeping with the theme of wanting to close off each day with a bit of a party band, there was no one else I would have looked for other than Cheltenham, well, I say actually the Southwest's Mashup Kings, Kaiju Blue. If you like, fun mashups of songs you never expected to mesh together, guitars, capes and lasers, these are the band for you. And then in main support underneath them, another band that have been going from strength to strength for the last few years, also releasing some of their strongest stuff recently, a couple of huge releases hopefully coming up towards the end of this year. We have Truck the Band. Yeah. Absolute legends. So they've also done quite a lot of, obviously, audio junk food shows and shows here. Dom and Jamie, the two main singers, have been involved in countless bands around the local music scene, both basically like part of the heart and soul of our local community. So finally actually able to get them on an almost top billing set for Frogfest, which I think for the last 2 years we've ended up with an acoustic set inside and an acoustic set outside due to scheduling issues, but finally we have them as full band Sunday night. And then for the outside, I'm probably actually going to give you a bit more spoilers than we intended here, but it's because this was the main surprise for you. Normally we've classically had on the Sunday your singer-songwritery, very basically what you expect from a guitar and a person on a stage. So this year I wanted to flip that entirely on its head. We are starting the day with In fact, I'm going to leave that as a slight surprise, but I will say the performance that will be opening the day isn't fixed to a stage and will be roaming through the venue. Hopefully that'll get all the people who are touring over on a Sunday morning up and actually out of their chairs and outside and enjoying some live music. Then we work our way through a couple of, I guess, the more typical singer-songwritery or at least live-based projects. And then we are going through a act called Saxy Beats, which is a live DJ with live improv saxophone. Dan Cooper and Sam Atlantis doing a mixed repertoire of almost chaos poetry meets dark hip-hop. And then finishing the evening with two of, to be honest, probably my favourite rappers locally, Johnny Patterson, Catchy P, and Jack Steger, Far Eye. And their new project, 640, to have, again, probably a flip on what you thought. We have a full hip-hop session outside to finish off the outside stage for the Sunday night.
Basically, at Frogfest this year, we've got a mixture of pretty much anything you could ask for, music-wise, comedy-wise, and entertainment-wise, in Cheltenham and the local area, pretty much.
I think the only thing we've left out is classical.
Yeah, no orchestras just turning up in the green room with all their equipment. In terms of the lineups, who is the band or artist either of you think is going to cause like the most chaos?
Obviously, I can't say too much because I'll be giving it away, but based on the shows they've done here in the past and based on the absolute mayhem and carnage they can cause with an acoustic guitar, Sorry Park. They do a cover of Believe by Cher, which is not only absolutely stunning, but even if you hate that song normally, you're just drawn in. And it's just amazing. It's just wonderful. I can't wait. It's going to be nuts. So
that and their acoustic version of Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit with a slow-mo mosh bit. Going from Cher to Limp Bizkit covers back to back with an acoustic guitar.
Sorry Part for me, just like there are so many. We've got surprises coming on Friday, but in terms of absolute carnage, Sorry Park.
And personally for me, I am expecting, as far as at least the crowd side, the most carnage for Andromedus on the Saturday evening. Again, you mix drum and bass and metal deep in the sweaty hours of a Saturday night. Carnage is the only thing you're going to get.
What would you say to anyone sort of, not even just people in the local area, but people that are sort of maybe looking at Frogfest, maybe seeing this video, and they've never heard of Frogfest before, or Frog and Fiddle. This is starting to get them interested. What would you say to them to sort of convince them to come and say what the real selling point of Frogfest is?
It's free entry, come join the family.
Exactly. And in terms of local music, how highly would you say Frogfest ranks in sort of the Cheltenham scene of sort of playing such a big role of getting artists the audience, but also artists as a community, like sort of meeting together?
I think Frogfest is, it's almost like the time when any band member from any band in Cheltenham, and it's much further than Cheltenham, so because there's loads of bands in Gloucester at the moment as well, and actually Frogfest is the time that you would walk through the Frog and Fiddle and not be surprised to see anyone whatsoever. It's a real community moment for bands, and I'd probably say it's that one of. I like to think that you've got Cheltenham Jazz Festival and Cheltenham Literature Festival and that kind of stuff. I like to think that obviously you've got trees, but I like to think that for people that are in Cheltenham or in Gloucester, you've got Underground in Gloucester and you've got Frogfest in Cheltenham. It is grassroots music through to bands that are just about to make that break. And it's the number of people you see here are amazing. It's really exciting, and it's a community.
So it's funny you mentioned about 2,000 Trees. The way I've always seen it is 2,000 Trees is Cheltenham Music Scene's annual works do. I would say Frogfest, for me at least, is Cheltenham Music Scene's Christmas.
From the outside looking in, obviously I'm not a musician myself, but this year I went to Frogfest for the first time, last year's Frogfest, and 2,000 Trees for the first time as well in the same space of a year, and I'd say that's pretty much spot on. Being around, obviously my mates being the musicians and stuff as well, like seeing it firsthand. So that's why I'm extra doubly excited for Frogfest this year round to see it all unfold again, with especially knowing more people. But how important would you say, especially nowadays, it is that we keep festivals like Frogfest going, and what a role they play with getting artists out there?
Well, for a start, there's there's a side part to that. So we can do Frogfest. It's free entry, but we're supported along the way. So this year we've had more support than I think ever since I've been involved.
Yeah.
We've had more people. So True Tone Music have jumped on board. Out of Key have jumped on board. Buckham obviously
Yep, Sound Dog
gives us
Studios.
Sound Dog Studios.
Breadbin Productions, University of Gloucestershire Music Society, the SU team at the University of Gloucestershire, even some of the staffing and lecturers pitching in to help out where they can with things like volunteers for work experience for the music courses, which also helps with that community synergy to be able to give them experience and working in actual real world events instead of just, no offence, but smaller gigs that might just be 3 acoustic guitars with a PA. This is 15-minute changeover and sound checks for 10 bands in a row all the way throughout a day. So yeah, it's good to be able to have support, but also be able to support other people in the local community so that they can start getting involved as well. And I think that sort of treating it like a roundabout where you do get on and get off eventually, at least as long as that can keep moving, there's always a route from, I guess, the level of even just somebody sat in their bedroom thinking, I want to get involved, all the way up to, as you say, bands just about to make that break.
I think so we couldn't do it without support. So we've got all of those guys. All of my team are involved as well, and that really helps. I like to think of it. So if you go to a food stall or something like that, and they've got try things. So you can try bits and pieces. I really like to think of Frogfest as just especially for people who haven't been to something like this before. It's just like that try. So it's just actually you might not like everything. We've tried to make sure that there is stuff across every day that people will like, but you can guarantee there is something that you'll love. There is something you'll like, and I think that's what propels Frogfest every single year. The way it's built, the way it's set up, it's a community, but there is something for everyone, and it's something really, really easy. Even if you've got someone that's sat around going, I don't really like coming to festivals or anything like that. Frogfest is different. They'll find something they like to listen to, and they'll have a great time, and it's going to be stunning.
Another great thing about Frogfest, being at the Frog Fiddle, is you've got Frogfest during the day, you've got all the music and stuff, and then you've got great venues as well, such as Two Pigs nearby. That's maybe something we'll get onto in a little bit. Again, the community, you got Frogfest, everyone playing, you got the bands playing, you got the audience here, and then they all end up sort of going out afterwards. What would you say sort of your go-to sort of place to go after Frogfest or during Frogfest to celebrate a successful sort of week?
Sadly, in previous years, I've had to be sensible because I'm back in at 9 a.m. most days when I'm running things for Frogfest, so I've gone home and to bed. When you get out at 2 a.m. and you're back in at 9, it's not worth going to, as much as I love the place, it's not worth going to Pigs as staff necessarily, but I fully encourage everybody that is here enjoying it as a customer, absolutely go out and go and find other bars after we close, go and put money into bars, go and help the local hospitality scene, because again, without people wanting to put money into that kind of thing where they're able to, that's when things that even just the nightlife locally will die.
So I've got 2 answers to this. You shouldn't really answer that. You're pissing off to Australia.
I guess when it finishes, it'll be around when I wake up each day. I'll be 10 hours ahead of you.
I'm going to send you a picture every night. So in previous years, I've run off to bottle of sauce at different points during the day because it is full on. I can't do that this year, so I'm going to be on site. But there is little to no question, and I can prove this by saying that I live in Gloucester. We are staying in Cheltenham for the whole weekend. We will be in the Two Pigs, as many as I can humanly get to the Two Pigs afterwards, and as many of the people here will be heading to the Two Pigs, because there's something about, especially if you work something like this, it is physically impossible, and you'll know this, to go home and just switch off. It doesn't work, so you need to have no matter how tired you are, you need those moments of just being, and there is no better place to do that. It's just up the road and just switch off than at the Two Pigs. Love it, always have done, always will.
Last year, I'm definitely not being biased by mentioning Two Pigs, by the way, definitely not. But last year I got the pleasure of obviously coming to Frogfest during the day, and I had to miss probably the headliner, but I was here most of the day, and then start work at Two Pigs later. So I saw them anyways after they'd all finished, and it was just really nice, I think, seeing people sort of go from one bar to another and support local businesses, and just the local scene thriving, and just a community doing community things, you know. So Frogfest, the final few words of Frogfest this year. To sum it up, yeah, how could you use one word to sum up this year's Frogfest and how it's going to be?
I'll use two.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll go two words.
Two words.
Two words.
Carnage, shenanigans.
And my 2 words are on holiday.
So there you have it. There you go. There was Joe and Andy's lowdown on Frogfest 2024. Now, remember, it is from the 20th to the 22nd of September at the Frog Fiddle in Cheltenham. It is free entry. There's no excuses, and I better see you there because I'll be there myself. Thank you, Mac, as well, for editing this video. He's taken a huge weight and stress off my shoulders this time. Normally it's me that does it all, and yeah, he's helped me out a ton. So go and give Mac a follow. And one last thing, if you've made it this far in the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notifications button because there's some great videos coming soon, including another video with Joe and Andy very, very soon. So do all that and share our video and share our page because, you know, I'm just starting out here, and it's what would help the most is just getting us out there because I will repay you with some great content, hopefully, very, very soon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.